The wait is finally over. After weeks of pre-season matches, tactical experiments, new signings and plenty of questions surrounding the squad, the Xabi Alonso era begins, and the first test could hardly be more interesting. Chelsea travel across West London to face Fulham at Craven Cottage on Monday night, knowing that this is not simply the first game of a new Premier League season. This is a game that could tell us a lot about what Alonso has been building. One of the biggest questions heading into this match is the system Alonso will use. During pre-season, Chelsea experimented with different formations, including a back four and a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1. The three at the back system became particularly interesting towards the end of pre-season. That system could allow Alonso to get more attacking players onto the pitch while giving Chelsea greater flexibility when they have possession. First of all, my predicted starting 11 has Robert Sanchez in goal, with Reece James, Maxence Lacroix and Levi Colwill forming the back three, Pedro Neto and Pep Chavarria operating as the wing-backs, with Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in midfield. Further forward, Cole Palmer and Morgan Rogers will play behind João Pedro. Of course, the final team will only be known when Alonso names it, but one thing is already clear. Chelsea have options. Make sure you watch till the end to get my score prediction. One of the biggest individual storylines will be João Pedro. The Brazilian enters the new campaign as Chelsea's new number 9. He was Chelsea's standout performer last season, scoring 20 goals and providing 9 assists in all competitions. That tells you how important he is to the club's plans. Now comes the difficult part. Can Alonso build an attack that consistently gets João Pedro into dangerous positions? With players such as Palmer, Rogers and Neto around him, Chelsea have the technical quality to create chances. The question is whether they can turn that quality into goals. Another fascinating battle will be the relationship between Cole Palmer and Morgan Rogers. Alonso has to find a way to get both players into positions where they can influence matches without getting in each other's way. Palmer remains Chelsea's biggest creative threat, while Rogers arrives with enormous expectations after becoming one of the club's major attacking investments. The Fulham game will give us our first competitive indication of how Alonso sees their roles. Does Palmer operate centrally? Does Rogers play closer to João Pedro? Do they interchange positions, or does Alonso ask one of them to provide more width? These small tactical decisions could become one of the defining stories of Chelsea's season. Chelsea's defence may actually be the biggest tactical test. Wesley Fofana is unavailable for the opening match, leaving Alonso with an important decision to make at the back. That could open the door for Maxence Lacroix to make his competitive Chelsea debut. Lacroix's experience in a back three makes him an intriguing fit for Alonso's system, while Reece James could also be used centrally rather than in his traditional fullback role. This is where the Fulham game becomes particularly useful. Pre-season football can hide problems. Competitive football exposes them. If Chelsea lose possession high up the pitch, can the back three deal with Fulham's transitions? Can the wing-backs recover quickly enough? Can Caicedo protect the defence when Chelsea push numbers forward? These are the questions Alonso will want answered. Fulham are not simply there to provide the opposition for Chelsea's big new era. They have their own new manager in Álvaro Arbeloa, who took over after leaving Real Madrid at the end of last season. The match therefore creates an interesting reunion between Alonso and his former Real Madrid colleague. Fulham are expected to use a 4-2-3-1, with players such as Alex Iwobi, Oscar Bobb and Gonzalo Garcia offering attacking threats. And because this is a London derby, Chelsea cannot afford to treat it like a routine opening day fixture. Fulham will know that Chelsea have pressure on them. They will know that Alonso's players are still adapting, and they will know that an early goal could completely change the atmosphere around Chelsea. There are 3 things we should be watching closely. First, the press. Alonso wants his teams to be aggressive without the ball. Chelsea need to show that they can press together rather than having individual players chasing the ball. Second, the midfield. Caicedo and Fernandes could become extremely important to the way Chelsea control matches. If Chelsea dominate the midfield, they can force Fulham deeper and allow Palmer and Rodgers to operate higher up the pitch. Third, the transitions. This could decide the match. Chelsea are likely to commit plenty of players forward, particularly if the wing-backs push high. That means the team must react quickly when possession is lost. One bad transition could undo everything. Winning the first game would obviously be important, but the performance could be even more revealing. Chelsea supporters don't just want 3 points. They want to see evidence that something has changed. They want to see a team with an identity, a team that knows when to press, a team that knows how to build from the back, a team that can control possession without becoming predictable, and most importantly, a team that looks like it belongs much higher than 10th in the Premier League. The first opportunity to prove that comes at Craven Cottage. Chelsea versus Fulham is not the biggest game of the season, but it could be one of the most revealing. Because, after all the talk, all the transfers and all the pre-season experiments, Xabi Alonso finally gets to answer the question that matters most. What does his Chelsea actually look like when it counts? And on Monday night, we'll finally find out. My prediction is Fulham 1, Chelsea 2. Chelsea may not be perfect, this is still a new team learning a new system under a new manager, but with Palmer, Rodgers and João Pedro leading the attack, Chelsea should have enough quality to start the Alonso era with 3 points. What do you think? Let me know your predictions in the comments.